I spent most of my life doing what I thought I was supposed to do, and that almost ruined me. So in this video, I'm going to share everything I've learned about success, money, and freedom. I'm going to share all the lessons I wish I knew in my early 20s. It's simple, but it could save you decades of frustration and mistakes. So as you can tell, I'm gonna get very vulnerable in this video. So for over 30 years, I followed the traditional rules. Go to school, get a job, try to increase the level of education, try to get a promotion every few years, and just seek stability. You name it, I was just that. And I thought that was the only way I could build a life of freedom and a life of success. So today I'm gonna share the lessons I've learned the hard way so you don't have to. I remember waking up every Monday morning and I felt a heavy pit in my stomach. Yes, I had a good job, a stable career, a high-paying career. So yes, I followed the rules, but why was I so unhappy? I spent years, probably decades, overthinking this. I was waiting and waiting to start something on my own. And that took me years because I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of looking stupid. Then guess what? One day I just started. I didn't have all the answers, and of course I was far from perfect. I made my first few $1,000s online, and that's when I realized that money alone does not bring freedom. I've noticed that freedom, it doesn't come until your money and your passion and the work that you do align. So with that said, I want to talk about the first thing I learned over these 30 years. And that first thing is the lie that we've all been told about success. We were told that if we go to school, we work hard, then we will become successful. But that formula was actually built for survival, not freedom. And that's why most of us are so stuck in survival mode every day. Everyone talks about job security, but no one's talking about the amount of people that are getting laid off. No one's talking about feeling burnt out when you show up to a job every day that you don't like or that you don't have a passion for. Like, think about it. A job can lay you off or even fire you at any moment without notice, but when it's time for you to resign, they want 2 weeks. Do you see how unfair that is? No matter how loyal you are in a job, that doesn't matter when it's time for you to get fired or laid off. The truth is, in life, you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. And that's why it's important to not only just focus on giving all your time to a job. It's important to build something for yourself, because guess what? When you go out there and you build something for yourself, you don't have a cap regarding how much money you can make. Take, for example, you're a teacher, right? Now, let's say teachers are making $60,000 per year. That's literally your cap. That's the most amount of money you can make per year, which is the $60,000. But let's say, for example, you go out and you start an online business and you start out making $20,000 per year. That $20,000 is not the cap or the max you can make. Learning different marketing strategies and investing in your business will allow you to eventually make $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 per year. I'm not saying it's bad to have a job. It is not. But try to build something for yourself before you go out building something for someone else for minimum wage. Now, in addition to that, the goal is never to work your butt off for the rest of your life and then retire rich at 65, probably almost 70, okay? That's never the goal. Are you gonna wait until you're 65, 70 to really live life and enjoy life and travel the world and have a life of freedom? You don't wanna do that at your old age where probably you're already experiencing health issues. You wanna do that now in your 20s and your 30s, even your 40s. Not at 70, not at 65 when you're retired. And that's why it's so important to build something for yourself. Start a business. There are a lot of business ideas out there that you could start with literally $0. First, you want to start off with having a solid business plan so you know where you want to take that business. I have a business plan linked in the description box below. Go ahead and check that out if you wish. So the second thing I want to talk about is actually the hidden truth about what really makes people rich. And I struggle with this. Like I said, I'm gonna be vulnerable in this video. Like, who cares? Everyone's trying to be perfect, and that's your biggest enemy, perfectionism. You don't have to be perfect. Let's take, for example, a YouTube channel. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you don't have to have the perfect equipment. You don't have to have the perfect topic yet. You don't have to have anything perfect. All you got to do is press record. Eventually, over the years, you're building up that perfectionism, or you're building up your YouTube channel to eventually become perfect. But why wait for years to wait for the perfect time, wait for the perfect equipment? Starting now will actually help you to have enough data in order to know where you're going or where you're taking this business. I'm a perfectionism, and I had to throw that out the window, girl. Like, I would literally take days or hours just to film one video because I felt like my lighting wasn't perfect enough. I felt like my makeup wasn't done perfect enough. But guess what? Who cares? If you're trying to start a YouTube channel, maybe the first 50 videos, no one's gonna watch it anyways. So why not just go ahead and press record? And this advice I'm giving you today does not only apply to starting a YouTube channel, it also applies to starting a business or starting a new adventure or just starting anything, any other side hustle in your life. Just start. Before I posted my first video, I gave myself a million reasons as to why now isn't the perfect time. You're pregnant, you got a newborn, you have a toddler, you're going to school to get your master's, you're in a job right now, you don't have enough time, you got a family. I could give myself 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't start right now, why now is not the perfect time. But guess what? Over the years, I did overcome that, and now is the perfect time, okay? If you're serious about doing something, it's gonna get done, regardless of whether you think you don't have enough time or not. The perfect time is now. So if you want to start that business, start that YouTube channel, if you even want to go back to school and you feel like now is not the perfect time, trust me, it is. Because you'll never feel like the time is perfect. So just start, sis. If you're gonna post your first video on YouTube, go ahead and post it. Nobody cares. People are out there living their best life. The truth is, the people who actually win and that are successful, they didn't wait until the perfect time to start. They just started sooner when they felt like the time wasn't perfect. Take, for example, this channel right here. This guy does not have the perfect equipment. He doesn't have the perfect lighting. He doesn't have the perfect almost anything, but guess what? People still watched. People still subscribed. Look how many views he had. So again, if you've been wanting to start that business, you've been wanting to start that YouTube channel, just start, my friend. No one cares. Most people aren't even held back by their fear of failure. They're held back in life because of their fear of embarrassment. They care too much about what others think. Everything I did in life at one point, I would be thinking, okay, what is that person gonna think? Or what is this person gonna think? Today, I'm here to tell you, I do not care. The cure for overthinking is action. So if you find yourself overthinking starting that new business or that YouTube channel, just go ahead and start, because that first time you post that video or try to market that business and you put that out there, it's gonna slowly go away. You're gonna slowly stop thinking about what others think. Like, you're gonna just do you. And that's the goal this year. Just remember that done is better than perfect. Small wins, they create confidence, and then confidence creates consistency. And then when you're consistent, that flows right into becoming successful. It does not get any easier than that. The longer you wait for perfection, that's literally the further you'll keep drifting away from success. Like I said, took me over 10 years to learn that. If you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and like and comment "Start now" down in the comment section below. I want to know who the real ones are. Now, here's what I would tell my 25-year-old younger self. I wouldn't tell my younger self how to get rich quick. What I would teach my younger self is how to live free, how to live a life of freedom. The truth is, when I made my first few $1,000s online, I still felt broke, because a few extra $1,000s without a purpose, it feels hollow, okay? And that's the truth. When you find your purpose, that's when you truly start picking up momentum. When I first started out this channel, I started talking about how to save money, how to make more money, how to invest money, how to start an online business, you name it, all I did it. But honestly, over the years, I've taken a lot of breaks from YouTube for that reason. And I really took a step back and I actually found my purpose. I know personally I do not like working a traditional 9-to-5 job and being stuck in a boring routine. So what I've decided to do is to capitalize on something that I personally went through. My goal here and my purpose is to help 9-to-5 employees who are tired and overworked know how to actually monetize their skill or start an online business. That way they can successfully ditch that 9-to-5 job. That's my purpose, and that's what I'm gonna focus on this channel. So while you're at it, just subscribe if you feel like this is gonna be helpful for you. Most of us, we tend to just chase the big titles, okay? We chase the titles. Oh, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer, I'm blah, blah, blah. Technically, that's not a life of freedom. The real flex isn't in the title or isn't in luxury, it's in peace and freedom. And that took me years to figure out. Freedom actually starts when you stop trading your time for money. When you start thinking about how you can build something that can actually be successful with or without you. Think about it. Every skill that you learn can actually help you to make money. And I'm not talking about a very technical skill. It could be as simple as you're probably doing better than the average parent at knowing how to soothe your child. You could just target the mom niche. Simple. You don't need to be the best at what you're doing. You just need to be brave enough and also put the time into educating yourself. Another thing I've learned is also why skipping a $5 coffee won't make you rich. If it does anything, it's gonna make you tired and cranky. That's it. Honestly, I used to feel guilty every time I went to Starbucks because I'm thinking, hey, this is money coming out of my pocket. But the truth is, you don't necessarily need to know how to cut these tiny expenses. You need to know how to increase your income, not deprive yourself and live a life of misery where you're depriving yourself of small things like coffee. To be honest, you can only save so much. But when it comes down to making money, you can make as much as you want. You don't get rich by depriving yourself every day. You get rich by starting to make business investment, developing skills that will help to put more money in your pocket. You can't really budget your way to freedom, okay? You have to build your way there. Think about scarcity, okay? Scarcity says, I can't afford this cup of coffee. But strategy says, how can I afford this cup of coffee? If you ask yourself that question every day, that's gonna change everything. When you focus on cutting down, you're actually shrinking your life, living a life of misery. But when you think of creating and learning, you're expanding your life and transitioning over into a life of luxury. The real flex isn't saying no to coffee, it's actually saying yes to having a choice. The truth is, you don't stay broke because of something small like a cup of coffee, okay? You stay broke because no one taught you how to really and truly build wealth, how to build income, how to have multiple side hustles. Multiple streams of income is what gets you to becoming a millionaire. And I'm gonna tell you this straightforward. No, I am not a millionaire as I speak, but I'm putting things in place that's helping me to get there. And I've seen tremendous growth so far, and that's key. So stop obsessing over $5 decisions and start obsessing over $5,000 business ideas. Now go enjoy that coffee, girl. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify your skills and strengths. You're gonna get a pen and paper, sis, okay? And you're gonna write down 3 skills that you have that can help others to solve a problem. And don't overthink it, okay? Remember, we spoke about that earlier. Don't overthink it because even small skills can solve a problem. Ask yourself, what can I offer today that people would probably pay for? And that's your niche. Pick one small step that you're gonna take towards that in the next 24 hours. And yes, I said it, 24 hours. Remember, done is better than perfect. Now here's what I want you to do next. I want you to reflect and ask yourself, does this help me to get closer to freedom or just money? Money only does not give you freedom. It has to be aligned with your purpose. If you can't spend a full day talking about that topic, don't consider it. The next thing I want you to do is to start a 30-day experiment. I want you to commit to 30 days. Only 30 days, okay? Give yourself a deadline to test something very small. I want you to start tracking your progress and remain consistent because, like I said, consistency builds confidence. And then confidence trickles down into success. So if there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this. Your life does not have to look like what everyone else tells you that your life should look like, okay? It does not have to look like that. You don't need to wait until you're ready because those small steps that you take when it's imperfect, messy, chaotic, those compound over time. Remember, time is honestly more valuable than money because you can't increase time, but you can increase the amount of money you make. And that's why you should start now. Start now so you can start building a life that you'll actually love, not one that you're trying to escape from. And with that said, go ahead and check out this video right here. I'm sure you'll find it helpful. Take care.